Good afternoon, everyone. Susan Rever here, the Organictarian, coming to you live from Regina, Saskatchewan. I'm a little bit late. I did say around 3 o'clock Regina time, but I was busy coming up with sort of wellness and seminar topics that I wanted to sort of ideas that I might be doing in the future and see if you guys would be interested. And so I've been spending a lot of time doing that kind of research. But today the tip will be pretty handy. You can do this at home, very quick and easy. And this is just using your hand. A little bit easy of a guide for portion control, because I find that a lot of people that come to see me, their idea of portion is just a little bit skewed, obviously, because, look at plate sizes now, right? 12-inch plates, I think, on average, right? They used to be about 10, sometimes even 8. Often what I do is I'll even eat off of my, what they call the bread plate or salad plate, just because it's smaller. That way you're going to actually end up eating less. And that's just an easy way to do that versus sometimes when you get the 12-inch large plates, you tend to eat more. But a simple, easy rule to follow is if you even look at your, right, index finger here, sort of your fingertips, so from the very tip down to the sort of the first sort of crease, right, joint there, that's roughly about the size of a teaspoon. So let's say if you're having breakfast and you like to put butter on your toast, that's about 1 teaspoon. Okay, so that's sort of going to keep you not going overboard. I know, because I tend to love butter and I like a lot of butter sometimes on toast. So it's a good rule to follow, very visual, because sometimes, say if you're out even camping or somewhere, you don't have actually like teaspoons handy. Just, again, a good reminder. So if you're taking your thumb, okay, so from the very, very sort of tip down to the first sort of knuckle, right, where it bends, that is about a tablespoon. Okay, so again, very easy to follow. So let's say if you're like me, who's addicted to peanut butter, most servings are about 2 tablespoons. So there'd be about 2 of your tips of your thumb. Okay, so again, good rule to follow, and that may sure that you're not going to be going overboard. Sometimes too, if you're eating chips and it says 12 to 15 chips in a serving, it is better to actually literally take 12 to 15 chips out of the bag and put them in a bowl and take that with you when you're sitting down versus, of course, taking the bag with you. Because if you're like me and say if you're watching a movie, that 12 to 15 turns into usually 30 or more chips. And so it can sort of, you're eating almost double what the serving is supposed to be. Now, if you're using your knuckles, if you're the front part of your knuckles, okay, so this part right here, that's almost equivalent to a half of a cup. So if you are, remember your plate size, half should be fruits and vegetables, and they need to be kind of the non-starchy kind. So this would be about a half a cup of, say, of pasta. Okay, so there's your carbs. If you're going to use your hand again, this part of your palm, so this is a good sort of visual to guide you on how much meat you should be eating. 3 ounces is usually recommendation for at a meal for 1 serving. And so again, you can kind of use that as a visual guide and make sure that you're not going overboard. If you want to use your fist sort of like this clenched, okay, that's about a cup, roughly. And, I think ice cream servings, again, of course, I'm using a lot of the foods that I love. I haven't included chocolate, but, this would be about double the serving of an ice cream serving, because I think most containers will go by half a cup. Okay, so again, it's kind of a good rule to follow to make sure that you're not overeating. It's a great way just to keep you on track and even to make sure that you're not going overboard with calories, and great way to help with weight management, even weight loss. And it's a very simple thing to do and follow. Again, just using your hand. Okay, so remember, right? 1 teaspoon, 1 tablespoon, half a cup, about a cup. In here, roughly about 3 ounces. Okay, so that's my wellness tip for today. Very easy to follow. Make sure that you, of course, like or follow my business page, Rever Wellness Consulting. And I do have a private Facebook book group that has started called Rever Wellness Revolution. And I'm going to be doing some more videos, even some free seminars, workshops, just specifically for that group alone. So again, make sure if you can ask to join. I'm going to be, of course, inviting some more people to join, but I just started the group. And sort of what took me so long to get on today, because I'm about an hour late, are some seminar topics to come up with. I've been asking people in my sort of trade shows that I've been doing the last few weeks and what they'd be interested in. And a lot of them kind of said the same sort of topics. What I'm going to be doing, which I think is kind of good and necessary, is a virtual grocery store tour. This is where you're going to, identify foods and items to avoid, help you navigating through the grocery store, the different aisles. So if you're looking at baking items or condiments or dairy, how to look at better food choices, especially when it comes to even deli, meats and baked items, especially bread. Frozen foods is another one, cereals, beverages, because a lot of times there's hidden ingredients in there that aren't actually very good for you, and how to read food labels. Now, Canada is changing their food labels slightly, so they're going to be easier to actually identify, how much sugar is in there, how much fat, but again, how to read those nutrition labels. So when it comes to servings, sizes, daily value, and calories, what does that actually mean when you're looking at a food label or a nutrition label? Kitchen Makeover 101, again, some simple tips just to make your life better and healthier, something that's just easy that you can do at home. Nutrition tips and tricks. Gut health and digestion was a common one that came up. I think what I'm going to be doing too on foods, moods, and our cognitive thinking. So again, that gut-brain axis, which I think is really important to talk about. Do you need to alkalize? Again, pH balance is extremely important. How sometimes anti-inflammatory meal plans can actually help you. Healthy eating on the run is another one I think I'm going to be doing. Women's health was a second sort of common or popular topic that people wanted me to talk about or do workshops and seminars. So like calibrating your thermostat, and this is one I know from personal, because I've of course had thyroid issues. So understanding thyroid issues in women. I've written down actually quite a few. The mind-body connection, which is very important. The top 5 autoimmune triggers that you can actually control. There's actually 5 common triggers that actually are a culprit for almost all autoimmune disorders. The gut and immune system's role in disease, that's a huge one. The gene-environment interaction, which I think is important to discuss. So things like culprits and causes, genetics, exposure, and especially intestinal permeability. A healthy microbiome and what you can actually do. Which other ones? Impact of endocrine disruptors on human health, which is becoming more popular and more common. Leaky gut syndrome and molecular mimicry. Why pH balance is crucial to health. So those are sort of some topics I've come up with. What is acidosis, causes and treatments, and tips for hormonal balance, xenoestrogens. And there's quite a few. Shocking, some people will find where some of these estrogens actually come from. Can even come from heavy metals. Eating for hormone balance, and hormonal and metabolic disorders. So those are just some things that I've been writing down that sort of came up at the top of my head. Now, I will be doing some of these workshops in person, and some I'll be doing online because I realize not all of you live in Regina, and that way everyone has access to it. On average, they're going to be between $40 to $80, depending on how long they are and what I'm going to, sort of the information I'm going to give to you. And no, they're not all going to be free, and I'll be doing a few free for my private Facebook group. But the reason why is, remember that I am academic, so I actually have been teaching in academia for over 15 years. I've developed many courses and labs for my students who of course at university now pay over $700 to come and get this information. But it takes a lot of time because being a scientific researcher, you have to go through all of the research and the books and making sure you're coming up with the most, up-to-date information. So that's my time, and that sort of you're paying for knowledge. And remember that these aren't going to be sort of personal workshops. If you want sort of more personal consultations, you can come and see me in person. But it's a good way to get a lot of good information, especially about a lot of these health issues. And you don't, because I know sometimes to pay for even a naturopath or, doing, holistic nutrition consultations with me, $200 for 9 minutes can sometimes be a lot for some people. So this way you're getting some useful information for a lot less. So that's sort of how I justified sort of the pricing. And some you'll be getting handouts and of course information to take home that you can again use at home to help with these health issues. And if there's anything that I've missed or maybe something that you might be interested in hearing about or something that you want me to talk about, just comment or post below, or you can even message me and I'd be happy to help. So again, wellness tip of the day. Hope you found that hand guide very easy to follow and hope you find it useful. And we will see you guys tomorrow at 3 o'clock Regina time. So until then, bye for now.